This is Prep Period, an all-sports podcast by the Ventura County Star and the people at VCS Preps.
Hello and welcome to episode 37 of Prep Period, the Ventura County Stars all preps, all sports podcast. My name is Dominic Massimino. He is Joe Curley. Looks like he's on his phone right now, probably doing important business. We are sports reporters here at the Ventura County Star. Did I just lose you, Joe, already? I may have lost you. No, we got to redo you. Here, 1 second. This may be our earliest technical difficulty that we've maybe ever had. It's incredible. It's perfect. This is the stuff that only the people joining us live get to see, Joe.
That's right. It's always once an episode. Nice to get it out of the way early.
Right. Here we go. Taking you from miniature size back to normal.
It's your favorite part every time.
It is. It's always fun. It truly is always fun.
It's like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids over here.
Honey, I shrunk the Curly. Shrunk the Joe Curly today.
Small enough.
Here we are. Boom. Fixed you just in time for the people who saw our social media post to rejoin the show. Ooh, nothing happened. All right, let's start this over. Hello. Once again, hello and welcome to episode 37 of Prep Period, the Ventura County Stars all preps, all sports podcast. My name is Dominic Massimino. He is Joe Curley. We are sports reporters here at the Ventura County Star. Thank you for joining our live show. If you're here listening live, and if you are watching a video later on, thank you for watching. Another exciting show today. It's championship season, Joe. Here in the spring in Ventura County, we got boys volleyball champions crowned. We got lacrosse. We got state champions crowned in swimming. We're going to talk about all of that today. But before we get to that, I mean, tell the folks what you've been up to, man. How you been? What you been up to this week?
Been covering the playoffs. That's what I've been doing.
Yeah.
We've been busy. So, thankfully so. We love it when our teams keep us busy. I tell them to, get out there, make me work all the way deep into June here. So that's what they're doing. And let's sum it all up. Let's get it all out there.
Yeah, if you spent any time on the Ventura County Star site this past weekend, you saw a lot of Joe Curley bylines. Really awesome work this weekend.
And Massimino.
And there's a couple Massiminos in there too.
You had the big local event, so we'll get to that in a second. But the big news is we have a state champion, Megan Wong, who the backstroker from Newbury Park, senior, headed to UC San Diego. She won the 100-yard backstroke at CIF State Championship meet up in Clovis. She's the reigning Ventura County Star Swimmer of the Year, so she might just be retaining that crown. She defended her CIF Division II championship and then went out and won the big one. And it was great. I was able to talk to her over the weekend as she was headed back. And one of the cool things, when you think of Newbury Park now, they've won 2 individual championships. I snuck it in at the end of the story. Maddie Black, the wrestling state champion, and Megan Wang, the swimming state champion, are in the same class. They're awesome. In AP government class, and they sit next to each other. So a lot of gold, a lot of glory in that one classroom. So congratulations to Megan. And like I said, she's headed to UC San Diego and finishing her high school career in the coolest way possible. Go to vcstar.com for more on that story. We've got all kinds of reporting on that. And
So AP Gov, if they were watching our show a couple episodes ago, they would have enjoyed my civics joke that I made in our intro.
they would get it.
Second big news this week was 2 CIF champions crowned. Oaks Christian lacrosse wins a title. Foothill Tech boys volleyball wins the section title. Joe, you covered both of those. You want to just talk through the quick details of both of those wins?
Yeah, it's Oaks Christian's second boys lacrosse division. Well, no, I think the first one was Division 2, but this is Division 3. Second title in 3 years, and just a phenomenal job by Coach Siebold and Sean Lindsay, and the brain trust over there. You've got a couple very experienced coaches working together with some elite talent. They won over 90% of the face-offs, thanks to junior Trent Milan, who's a huge difference maker in the game of lacrosse. If you can
97% of the face-offs, I read in your story.
I think it was 28-29 or
That's
something,
crazy.
which is, you have the ball the whole game, and when you win possession and you're able to give it to Chase McLeod and Greg DeGroot, who combined for 10 goals and 6 assists in the game, both those guys now. It's the second CIF championship for both of those players. Chase just had a phenomenal game, 7 goals. So congratulations to them. That's our one lacrosse champion this year. We also had one boys volleyball champion. You covered them in person in the semifinal. And it seemed like in the final, I spoke to Coach, and he said that, you never want to play a championship game on the road. So it was a difficult atmosphere, but also kind of a memorable atmosphere. And it felt good for them to be able to triumph. They won in straight sets, despite all 3 sets being super close. So they just basically played a little bit more efficiently in the key points of the match. That was a very impressive win. First CIF championship in boys volleyball for the Dragons. So congratulations to them. And they are on their way to state. They play a state match.
They got a long bus ride.
Yeah. And we will have more on that shortly.
And a couple important news notes in terms of transfers, colleges. Pacifica linebacker and reigning Ventura County Star Defensive Player of the Year, Isaiah Phelps, announced his college commitment yesterday in an Instagram post. He is heading to San Diego State University. That was big news. He was being recruited by 20. He had existing offers from 25 Division I universities, including a ton of household names: Auburn, Michigan, Ohio State, USC, to name a few. So he's heading to San Diego State. Huge pickup for them, and I'm just stoked we get to watch him play for another year.
Yeah, I think you can argue Isaiah Phelps is the best returning football player in Ventura County. You could argue he was the best player in Ventura County last year. Phenomenal two-way player for the team that was our best individual team last year. Played another state championship game, was an absolute beast 2 ways in the playoffs, getting the Tritons to another state championship bowl. And very interesting decision, because this is now a kid who is decided to stay on the West Coast, pick a program who he could play for early.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll track Isaiah and see how that goes. But somebody who really could have went anywhere and chose to stay on the West Coast, which is super exciting, I'm sure, for the Aztecs.
Absolutely. And then in prep transfer news, one of the top young players in Ventura County in Santa Paula sophomore Andrew Valdivinos, part of some Santa Paula royalty there. The nephew of all-time points leader Jose Valdivinos at Santa Paula has transferred to Pacifica, joins a talented group of young players, including Bryshawn McGee, who we've written about this track season, an excellent basketball player and high jumper. You have Tommy Williams. You have, speaking of Pacifica football, teammate of Isaiah Phelps, Will Jones Jr., super talented kid. So he joins that pretty stacked young roster over there. He set a state record for 3-pointers as a freshman per Cal High Sports his freshman year, so 2 seasons ago. And he made the most, or the second most, that is, 3-pointers last season in the county, behind our player of the year last year, Dylan McCord from Thousand Oaks. So big news in the boys basketball space this offseason. And then
wrap us up with this fifth item.
Yeah, lastly, from the CIF Championships, CIF Finals this past weekend, lots of big performances, which we'll talk about a little bit, but none bigger than Newbury Park's boys 4x100 meter relay team that set both a Ventura County and CIF Southern Section Division II meet record, running 40.68 seconds in that 4x1. So do the math on that, Joe. That comes out to 10.18,
wow,
something like that per leg. Obviously, it's
just over 10.
It's a little bit different when you have and I say a little bit. It's a lot different when you have the running start of the relay, but that is just wicked fast, and it makes sense that it's a Ventura County record. They were just blisteringly fast, and very excited when they turned after crossing the finish line in first and saw that time. Perfect timing. Speaking of time, perfect timing here to welcome on our guest today. I should say guests, plural. Coach, can you hear us okay?
Hi. Yes. How are you guys?
Doing well, Coach. Can you do me a favor and flip the phone sideways? I know it is kind of strange, but that's perfect. Great.
Here we go.
Show us the scenery out the window, Coach. How far into this drive are you?
I think we're getting close to Fillmore. Maybe I don't know. Maybe a little past Fillmore. Not to Clarita yet, but we're getting there.
Nice. So we
it's
are
like the 5 to the 99. Is that the route today?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
Very cool. We're joined. We got to give you your intro, Coach. Your well-deserved intro. This is Coach David Benedict, head coach of Foothill Tech boys volleyball, which we all know from our intro earlier. Won a CIF Southern Section title this past weekend. Joe had a great story on that win. Little old Foothill Tech goes and wins a CIF title. Coach, how stoked are you and the boys? I know you have to get locked in for a state match coming up, but have you guys just been kind of basking in the glory of that win the last couple of days?
Yeah, it's definitely been really exciting. It's kind of been a whirlwind. We've been travel around and going, playing matches. So it's been hard to fully appreciate it. I think it's going to, take a few days to soak in. And but we had to, turn around really quickly and get ready to go and play our next match in the state competition. So that's really, really exciting too. And it was just, a great win for our program and a great win for the guys. And it, I think it really pushes us to, set new standards for what we can do and how far we can go, and kind of getting used to, making deep runs in the playoffs and then getting in the state competition and having them, put us in Division III. I felt like it was a big nod to, how well we performed in the Southern Section as well.
Yeah, and Coach, you mentioned the last time we spoke, you mentioned weathering that rocky start, finding the lineup that worked best for you guys, and kind of putting together that system over the course of the year. Just what do you feel like the message is to other coaches who maybe don't have the perfect setup early on in the season, who have seen kind of what you guys did this year and finding the magic late? Like what's the message that this run kind of sends to other programs?
I would say don't give up. Even when you get off to a rocky start, sometimes those challenges early on in the season can help kind of bring the team together and establish an identity that you might have been lacking early on. So I feel like it's definitely taught me that no matter what's going on in the midst of the season, you can always turn things around and play, find a way to play your best volleyball.
That's awesome. Joe, you covered this match. You wanna chime in here?
I mean, I spoke to Coach after the match, and it really felt, it was a straight set victory that was very tight, especially in the second and third sets. And David will tell you that I kind of, I asked him, I was kind of searching for that difference, and I think what we settled on, Coach, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was really the quality of your passing, especially defensively, and the hitting efficiency. that you guys had kind of in big moments? You essentially, made less mistakes than Oakwood, and that was the difference?
Yeah, I think so. I think that our serve was really effective, and it kind of helped keep them from getting into a good offensive rhythm. And then I feel like our passing, was able to, do the opposite for us and kind of allow us to be in rhythm and be able to run our middles effectively. And that was kind of how our offense is really at its best, is when those middles are getting good sets and kind of can take some of the pressure off our outside hitters. So that, and just making smart decisions, really trying. I've been emphasizing this whole season how important it is to extend rallies, and even if you don't have a great set, to at least keep it in play and not make an error. And then when we do have opportunities, really attack and be aggressive at those times.
And then just tell me about Royal Knox. Your sophomore setter, was part of that. What does he do for you guys? Just what type of player is he?
Yeah, he's actually been a huge surprise this season. He started playing, he's been playing club for the last couple of years, but his consistency has always kind of held him back. But this season, and his ability to set our hitters really effectively, and also his serving, he's really taken a huge step forward. Coming in, we weren't sure that he was going to be the starting setter, but he's really kind of captured that role and has connected with our hitters really well, and been able to run, really good offense. So it speaks volumes about, just his progression this season, about what kind of a player he is and what kind of potential that he has to be able to really run an effective offense for us. He's been a huge and very, very pleasant surprise.
So, Coach, as we're kind of looking through the the stats from the match and the class years of your players, we don't see a lot of seniors. It's sophomore this, junior that. Definitely a bright future for you guys. I mean, how exciting is that as a coach to know that you have so many guys coming back from a CIF championship squad?
Yeah, it's really, really exciting to be able to think about the future of the program. This is my third season, so some of the guys that kind of came in, as freshmen, and then the first couple of years. So we've really been able to kind of develop some of those guys, and they've a lot of the guys in the sophomore class have been playing together they played together in middle school, so that kind of those relationships kind of help. And so yeah, it's incredibly exciting to look at some of even the freshmen. Sebastian Saucedo, he kind of came in and was able to win a starting job, and has been effective for us. So it feels like next year we'll have a few guys to replace, but I'm really encouraged and excited about the freshmen that are in the program, and how many juniors and sophomores will be around and available for us next season.
And just if you can pass the phone over to Curran. Curran's a middle for you guys, yeah? Your captain?
Yeah, he's a senior blocker, or a senior captain, middle blocker. So he's
we're getting
really good.
We're getting the waves from everybody. That's awesome.
Say hi to the Ventura County Star.
What's
up, guys?
Oh, this is sick.
He's got to go all the way in the back.
All the way to the back. That's how
he's
the captain. Yep, there you go.
Here, I'll hand him the phone.
Am I connecting my AirPods? I don't know if that'll work through your AirPods because they're not connected to my phone, but you can just use the mic on the phone, maybe.
Okay, hold on.
You could try to.
Yeah, we'll give it a try.
Or I'll try connect on here.
I can hear you okay.
You can make it connect. Yeah, that's not bad. He's taking over the settings.
Coach is gonna get his phone back, and it's gonna be completely different, but better.
That's right. Proved.
Let's see.
I'll just pair right now.
Oh, perfect.
There we go.
Did he?
Might be. Oh no, not frozen. I'm surprised that our connection has been as good as it is on that drive. Can get a little the the service can get a
Going
little
through
spotty.
going through Pyru.
Yeah, for real. So while we're waiting to get set up here, just read a couple of stats off from that championship game. Styles,
There he is.
outside hitter Styles Haley Kettler had 9 kills, 2 blocks. Junior middle blocker Colton Salles had 7 kills, 2 blocks, and libero Zach Ohl had 8 digs and 2 aces. And sophomore setter Royal Knox, as you mentioned, had 27 assists and 2 aces. Hey, can you hear us okay, Curran?
Yep. Hi guys.
Doing good. Doing good. Yeah, we were just talking to Coach
there?
about. Yeah, you're here.
Okay.
We might have spoke too soon about the 126.
So yeah, we're just talking to Coach about your championship run, and who better to talk about this young group than one of the senior captains. Just walk us through kind of how the team is feeling. Obviously, you guys are locked in going to this this state match, first round of state playoffs against Central East up in Fresno. But how are you guys feeling about the championship success and bringing a title back home to Ventura?
The team's feeling really good. This program has seen limited success over our 12 years. When I came on the team, we had a very rough season, I would say. It was definitely demoralizing. But last year and this year, we just had so much success. We've seen so much just commitment from the guys. And I'm just really proud of how the team has been playing through just, both like trials, errors, stuff like that. I just think we've been playing really disciplined and good volleyball.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean it's really cool following the run that you guys made. You had straight set victories in both your first and second rounds, and then you get really challenged by Valley Christian, a 5-setter in the third round, and then straight set victories in the semis and in your championship. Tell us about that match and what, if anything, it kind of proved to you guys about what you were capable of doing in this playoff run.
Yeah, so the first 2 matches, obviously straight sets. We knew we were the good team, but the Valley Christian game was definitely like a shocker for us. I would say, the student section was loud. We only had 30 minutes to warm up. Actually, the traffic just delayed us so much. So it was already just a challenge at the start. But our boys rallied. We didn't really let it rattle us. We just showed our game, played loose, confident, just aggressive volleyball. And I feel like that's what really allowed us to succeed. We didn't let the factors we couldn't control affect our volleyball, and that's the reason we came out successful in the 5-set victory.
And what's that?
Current.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Joe.
No, I would just. So, how long is this drive to Fresno? 5 hours? 4? What are you expecting?
Roughly 4 hours. 4 hours, yeah.
So, how do you got any ideas of how you keep yourself fresh? You guys have made a bunch of trips. How do you keep yourself in game form here after you've been sitting around for 4 hours on a bus?
It kind of varies from person to person. I think at least for the most of us, we're getting there around an hour 30ish early at the site. So we like to just walk around, just get our legs moving, because the worst thing is just going into a game with stiff legs, and you can't jump your highest or just play how you truly can play if you have the time to stretch and stuff. So we're just occasionally just standing up on the bus, just stretching our legs. But yeah, we're just taking the best precautions, I would say, in order to be the freshest out there for the game.
Yeah, I saw a lot of legs stretched out there as Coach was walking down to give the phone to you. A lot of guys making sure they don't get stiff. And tell us about. You said you guys played loose in that Valley Christian match. Even though you were tested, and that was the key to the victory. What's going to be the key to trying to upset a number 1 seed in tonight's match?
I think really just not letting the crowd affect us. When we were watching the film, we noticed they sold out their entire home crowd section last game. So
Wow.
it's definitely a little intimidating, but I think we don't really let those factors control us. I think that's the reason we've had so much success. I feel like it's very easy to just kind of collapse if things don't go your way, and like that home crowd energy just gets you rattled. But when we play loose, just make like good plays and it silences the crowd, I feel like we just really use that to our advantage and just go on runs that allows us to take these sets and just hopefully come out victorious in the end. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, need a fast start. Quiet that crowd.
Exactly.
Great. Curran, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate you. I would say making the time if we didn't have you as a captive audience here on this 4-hour bus ride, but thank you for talking to us, sharing a little bit about your team, and best of luck tonight. Keep us working, as Joe likes to say.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. That's awesome.
That's great.
Your coach's phone back.
Yeah, phone will be going back to coach.
Pass to the coach. Pass to the coach.
This is a clip.
Yeah, and his AirPods are connected.
That's
There
awesome.
it is. Coach, good luck. Go get him.
Thank you so much.
Hold on.
All right. Hi.
Hey, thank you so much, Coach. Appreciate you. Best of luck on this drive and in tonight's match.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. It was great talking to you guys.
Great talking to you.
All right, cool. Go get it. Thanks, Dave.
Bye.
That was awesome. That's an all-timer.
Breaking
right there.
ground here.
The handing the phone
That's so
up row to row. That's great.
We did all those great interviews with I can remember Charlie Weiss on the bus, in those Fillmore playoff, and that was the audio version of what we just did, but doing it where you can actually see them all stretched out on the buses. That's not the last time we're gonna do that. That was awesome.
That's so great. That's awesome. So
right.
let's move on, Joe. We got, today, tomorrow, the rest of the week, we're in the thick of it with baseball and softball playoffs. You want to start telling us a little bit about that?
Well, speaking of Royal Knox, right? We got athletes.
Oh
of the
my
week
gosh,
together.
yeah, so true. Sorry, that's down in the rundown. Where are we?
Is it?
Is it?
It's right under the top story.
Am I going crazy? I am going crazy. It's literally right in front of me. Sorry, guys. Speaking of Royal Knox, the Foothill Tech sophomore setter, he's 5'10", helped the Dragons claim the program's first CIF Southern Section championship last Saturday. He had 27 assists, 2 aces as the Dragons swept host Oakwood School 25-22, 25-19, 25-21 in North Hollywood to capture the D7 title. He had 34 assists in the Dragons' semifinal win over Rialto. That was a straight set victory as well. And Foothill Tech 16-8, as we know, they're seeded number 8 in the CIF State Division III Regional and are on their way right now to face number 1 Fresno Central East.
I wonder how close they were to being in D4. The last seed in D3.
Yeah.
But anyway, and then Grace McGuire. Grace is the star for Grace. The softball senior shortstop helped lead the Lancers to 2 playoff victories last week. On Friday, she was 3 for 4 with a 3-run home run, an 11-0 5-inning win over Buena Park. And on Saturday, she was 2 for 4 with a double and 2 RBIs in an 11-1 5-inning win over Crean Lutheran. The University of Nevada commit is hitting .584 with 11 homers, 4 triples, 12 doubles, 34 RBIs in 25 games. 15-10 Grace will play at Sun Valley Shadow Hills in a Division V quarterfinal on Wednesday, actually. We're going to speak about that relatively shortly, but first let's transition into the CIF Southern Section baseball playoffs. And the first round was over the weekend. Thursday and Friday. Oh, it all blurs together when there's 33 softball and yeah. But I pulled out a couple of trends from I essentially covered all 16 baseball games, and we had some big time pitching performances. Agora senior Donovan Anthony threw a 2-hit shutout, striking out 15 in the Chargers 4-0 win over Oakwood. Freshman, we're going to remember this name, Cade Monica for Grace. He needed just 65 pitches to throw a 4-hit shutout, striking out 7 as the Lancers advanced. He I think he threw like 1 or 2 first pitch balls. Unbelievable performance. That was Grace, a 6-0 shutout of Beverly Hills. Everybody's favorite Ojai Valley ace, Archie Moeller, threw a no-hitter in a run rule shortened game, striking out 13 of 19 batters he faced, allowing just 1 walk. I think that was 6 innings, actually.
They win 16-0.
They won 16-0 over San Luis Obispo Classical. And then there's Daniel Puebla, who was our cover on the cover of our sports section on Sunday, I think. 3-hit shutout to propel Rio Mesa to a 6-0 win, keep the Spartans hot over visiting Hesperia, first round of the Division IV playoffs. That was on Thursday.
I caught a couple innings of that game. He looked very good.
Oh yeah, you shot it for us. Yeah, great photos from Dom for that game. Carson Cerny, no stranger to the postseason. The Moore Park ace, 5 shutout innings and had a 2-run double to give the Musketeers an early lead in a 9-0 win over Lucerna. That was kind of revenge, I think, for Moore Park. I think their boys soccer team lost to Lucerna in the playoffs. So Musketeers get back on the horse there with a playoff win. And then senior Weston Haley, the former Nordhoff quarterback, actually, he only allowed 2 hits and an unearned run in 7 innings, striking out 10, as Nordhoff won their first playoff baseball game in 11 years.
Wow.
So there's some big-time pitching performances. We also had some walk-off moments. Rowan Kaiser had a walk-off single for St. Bonaventure, a 1-0 win over Mayfair. Shane White had the really interesting situation. You don't really see it often, but he got hit by a pitch with the bases loaded to complete Foothill Tech's 3-2 win. That was a come from behind when they were down 2-0 in the 6th, scored 2 in the 6th, and then loaded the bases and
heartbreaker
won
for
an
Bloomington. Oh my goodness, that's a tough way to lose a 3-2 game.
And then an unbelievable comeback from our number 1 ranked team. Royal was on the cusp of losing to El Modena in the first round of the playoffs, despite Dusty Dunworthy's gem. He only gave up 1 unearned run in 7 innings, and then El Modena took a 3-1 lead. And Royal was down to its last out when Matthew Stout's 2-out, 2-run double in the bottom of the 8th scored Ryan Talley. I think Peyton Visage scored from first on that. That was the tying and winning runs for the Highlanders to survive and advance to the second round. We also got to mention Westlake senior shortstop Blake Miller, who was phenomenal in the Warriors 4-3 win over Alta Loma, back and forth game. He had after they went down the first inning, he had a solo homer. He had a big RBI double to give them the lead, ultimately for good, I think, at the bottom of the 5th. And then before we move on from baseball, we have to mention or try to explain what happened to Simi Valley at Arcadia, which was a bit of it made some news around Southern California because there was a couple reporters at the game in Arcadia, and they went through it essentially. And I was just trying to explain to Don. It's pretty complicated. It was a tough thing to write.
I'm looking forward to you explaining it to the viewers because it was helpful for me.
Essentially, what happened was Junior Evan Rodriguez, who led off hit a home run on the first pitch of the game to give Simi Valley a lead. He homered in the top of the 6th to tie the game at 2-2, and immediately Arcadia appealed the home run, saying that Simi Valley had hit out of order. Now, how do you hit out of order in a high school baseball game? Obviously, it's not a kid, grabbing a bat and running up and not remembering what the right order is. What had happened was, in the previous inning, the previous visiting half of the inning had ended in a very confusing fashion. Rodriguez was at the plate, swung and missed at a pitch as a teammate was stealing second base. The home plate umpire called Rodriguez out on interference. The base umpire called the runner out on caught stealing. And so Simi, and according to the Simi Valley coaching staff, they had checked with the umpires, and they were told that the kid was out at second, and that was why the inning ended. Well, you could see on the video that the home plate umpire did call Rodriguez out on interference. So essentially, the way I'm looking at this is that there was a miscommunication with the umpiring crew, and unfortunately, the home plate umpire is in charge, and so he went with his call, which was interference. And so when Arcadia appealed when Rodriguez led off the next inning, hit the home run, and Arcadia appealed, that was what ultimately happened, was that Rodriguez was called out for hitting out of order. And beyond all of that, the crazy thing is that the Pioneers still came back and tied the score on Ryan Whitson's infield single in the top of the seventh. And then Arcadia won it in the bottom half of the order, bottom half of the inning, with a walk-off double in the bottom of the seventh by Matt Monzo. So another phenomenal season by Simi Valley Baseball ends at 16-11 with a very memorable, kind of controversy. Simi Valley coach Scott Vermette, the quote that I have him in the paper on Sunday: "We confirmed with the umpires. They told us the runner was out, not the batter. I think our whole fan base heard it as well, but tough loss. We will be back next year." Just really confusing way for the Pioneer season to end. But again, Evan Rodriguez is a beast. He only gets credit for one home run, but 2 home runs in a playoff game, phenomenal.
Yeah.
But
including on the first pitch of the game. That's like, what a way to start, set the tone.
I was
for your group.
watching the game on video, and when he did that, I was like, oh, this bodes well for Simi. It's kind of like one of those great signs when you hit a first pitch home run. But
yeah.
Let's just quickly go through the second round schedule. Royal at Yucaipa, Westlake at Alamany, Agoura at Garden Grove Pacifica, Moore Park at Monrovia, Rio Mesa at Claremont, St. Bonaventure at Culver City, Canyon Springs at Foothill Tech, Grace at North Torrance, Fontana at Santa Paula, Nordhoff at Nauvoo Bridge, and San Bernardino at Ojai Valley. All those results will be in the paper probably by the time you watch this.
And anticipating no games will be affected by the fire as
far as we know, though, because I'll tell you right now that air quality in Ventura is fine.
Yeah.
Air quality in the Canal Valley is fine. I think the wind is being blown more toward the valley, so maybe the Westlake Alamany game could be affected. Most of the teams, all but 2 of our baseball teams, are on the road. The only home games are Santa Paula and Foothill Tech today. So I think all our local games are fine. Oh, and Ojai Valley actually is at home as well.
Right.
And then tomorrow we have there's only 4 teams left in the softball quarterfinals, and we only have 3 games to worry about. The big one you will be covering: Oxnard at St. Bonaventure at Ventura College. Massive game in Division 4. The winner will advance to the semifinals. And then we have 2 teams in Division 5 that, if they both win on Wednesday, they will play each other on Saturday. And that's Santa Clara at Europa Hills Patriot and Grace at Sun Valley Shadow Hills. So we only have 4 teams left, but we have a good chance still to get one of those teams into the D4 or D5 semifinals and hopefully finals.
Looking forward to seeing some players whose names I already know in this St. Bonaventure Oxnard softball matchup. That's going to be fun. That's going to be really fun. So yeah, follow along for our coverage of that. We'll have the story tomorrow.
Let's quickly hype up how Oxnard and St. Bonaventure got there. Sophomore Destiny Herrera, speaking of fantastic playoff pitching performances, she extended her playoff shutout streak to 12 innings. She's yet to give up a run in the playoffs. She had a 3-hit shutout, striking out 4 batters in the 4-0 win over Apple Valley on Saturday morning. Jaylene Jimenez walked till second, scored an overthrow to give Oxnard all the offense it would need. And Rachel Godoy, the former St. Bonaventure star, hit a home run. 6 other players had hits. Oxnard, of course, will visit St. Bonaventure. Speaking of big playoff performances, the Seraphs scored 6 runs in the top of the first at Harvard Westlake. Defending Division 5 champions Seraphs had hits from Hudson Ortiz, Janessa Brown, and Delilah Ramirez. in that big first inning. Macy Shotton was 4 for 5. Brown was 3 for 4. I mean, the bottom, Audrina Tinoco, 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs scored. Bottom line is the matchup that you're going to have to be ready for on Wednesday is Destiny Herrera and kind of the go-go Yellow Jackets against the big slugging Serifs, defending Division 5 champions who just hit their way through every, over every obstacle. So, it's really kind of the classic, what wins in playoffs. Is it the big pitcher or the big lineup? So that'll be a lot of fun.
Joe tells me, prepping me for this awesome all local matchup the other day. He's like, Destiny Herrera throws gas. So from the circle. So be on the lookout for that. I'm like, I saw her as one of the best basketball players at Oxnard in the winter. I saw the power she has. So that's going to be really fun to see that matchup.
Yeah, certainly one of the better multi-sport athletes in that class of, it would be 2029.
It's so funny you say that. She mentioned that to me. She was like, you guys have these polls. We got some good multi-sport athletes. We should do a poll
a
multi-sport athlete
idea,
poll.
Destiny.
Yeah. Yes. So Destiny, if you're watching this, you may have gotten that idea into our heads.
Call it the Destiny Herrera poll.
Exactly.
And then quickly, let's give Santa Clara and Grace a little bit of a mention. Oh, well, I guess we went over all of the Grace stuff. They essentially won 2 5-inning shortened games. They've just been killing people. Ava Depue's 2-run triple in the bottom of the 5th gave the Lancers their second straight run rule shortened game. Heidi Bird, the Grace coach, said, we kind of found a groove. It's the whole team right now. That's the important thing. It's 1 through 9. Everybody is contributing. Eden Tuso was 2 for 4 with a home run. She also closed the game in the circle for Grace. Rosie Salazar struck out 5. So Grace is playing well. And we got to mention Santa Clara. They were in a very tight game with Anaheim. Anaheim's a team that has eliminated some of our better softball teams late in a couple. I think they beat Santa Paula in a semifinal recently.
Sounds right.
So Santa Clara scored 6 runs in the 6th inning. So St. Bonaventure had a 6-run first inning. Santa Clara had a 6-run 6th inning. It was a pretty tight game. So Santa Clara coach Barry Mullen, we just had a big 6th inning. We finally put some at bats together and hit the ball pretty well. Whenever you talk about Santa Clara softball, you got to mention Caden Sanchez. The Bowling Green commit struck out 12 in 7 innings, allowing 4 hits and an unearned run. She was also 2 for 4 with an RBI at the plate. Bella Jimenez was 2 for 3 with a double. Jay Herrera was 2 for 3 with an RBI and a run scored. Alania Rios was 2 for 4 with a double and a run scored. Let's kind of cross our fingers and hope we get a Santa Clara Grace semifinal.
That would be awesome. And we should mention just before we move on, we had the boys volleyball big feature on Foothill Tech. We had another local team playing in the CIF championship match. That was Royal in Division 4. They fall to Sunny Hills in a very competitive 4-set loss. 26. They won the first set 26-24. Came back from, I think it was a 7-1 run to win that first set. And then they lose 22-25, 25-27, and 23-25 in the next 3 sets. So 3 or fewer points separated all 3 of those set losses. It was the 11th section championship appearance for what has become a kind of a powerhouse program in boys volleyball in the Highlanders. But yeah, just credit to them for, another really solid season. Their outside hitters who are, among the best in Ventura County in Donnie Fleming and Grant Herzier had 18 kills and 19 kills apiece to lead Royal in an awesome battle on the hardwood. So yeah, shout out to them. And
before we let you off the hook here, let's just talk a little bit. You spent all day Saturday at Moorpark High at the track meet. All the best track athletes in Ventura County performing for to try to move on in the postseason to Masters and State. Just what jumped out at you, literally?
It's dangerous, Joe. Be forewarned. It's dangerous to get me started talking about track because once you get me started, I have trouble stopping.
Well, we got about 5-10 minutes. You get. And then
you cut me off.
Then we're gonna cut you off.
So there were lots of big stories on the day. The thing that I chose to lead my story with was speaking of jumping. was the fact that Ventura County had 4 local high jump champions crowned. So there's 4 divisions, 1 for boys, 1 for girls. That's 8 possible titles up for grabs. Ventura County took home half of those titles. It started early in the day with Thatcher's Rafa Kelleher jumping 6'6" to win the Division 4 boys title. So Thatcher is a charter school or boarding school. So he's from Chicago originally. I was talking to his parents watching the event. They're both from Australia, have awesome accents.
Oh wow!
So yeah, I'm hearing them kind of cheering him on. I'm like, that's an Australian accent. So very cool story. Grew up in Miami, then moved to Chicago, lives in Chicago now, and goes to school at Thatcher. He was our first title of the day. And then you had 3 girls titles. Foothill Tech's Bennett Rodman ties with a bunch of other jumpers, but wins on fewer misses. So she wins the Division 4 title from Foothill Tech. And then in Division 3, you had Gwyneth Murieka from Oak Park. She jumps 5'6". And in Division 2, you have Niev Oliver from Camarillo. She also jumps 5'6". So that's 4 high jump champions from Ventura County in 3 different divisions. And then the other big story was the 4x100 relay giveth and the 4x100 relay taketh away. So we've mentioned the Newbury Park boys 4x100 record-setting run, 40.68 seconds. To start off an awesome day for them. On the girls' side, you had the second fastest 4x100 team in the history of California in the Calabasas girls. Failed to get the baton around. The exchange between the second and third leg, they overrun each other. The baton hits the track. They pick up the baton and get going. Devin Sproles picks up the baton all the way in last place, gets it to the anchor Olivia Kirk, and Olivia Kirk runs down 2 teams. They finished 7th out of 9 teams in this field because they had built up such a lead going into that second exchange. But they finish well out on time and will not qualify for the Masters Championship. So that's one of the greatest teams in the history of high school track and field ever. Will not be competing at Masters and therefore not be competing for a state title. They come back, though, and do what they do, those sprinters at Calabasas. They swept the top 4 in the girls' 100 meters in their division in Division 3. And I think had 3 of the top 5 in the girls' 200 meters with those same 4 relay team members. So they bounced back, did what they do. And then the last thing is we had a freshman in Moore Park's Camilla Peltonen. You'll keep hearing that name from us. Beats out 2 talented, a very talented field, but 2 talented Oaks Christian sprinters in Raya Rodriguez and I believe Christina Smith. In the girls' 400 meters, she runs 55.17 to win that title. Just incredible stuff from a freshman, and we're going to continue to be seeing her on the track for years to come.
Oh, that was a very concise summary.
I told myself just 3. I told myself 3 events, and then Joe will get to stop listening to me.
There we go. All right, so we will have live coverage of baseball second round today at vstar.com and on the app, and softball tomorrow. Dom will be at one of the 3 games, and I'll update the other 2 games. And then this weekend, hopefully we have a bunch of semifinals, quarterfinals and semifinals Friday and Saturday. So that's what's happening this week. I'm missing anything?
I don't think so.
I think we're good.
We should give credit
and then
to
Masters track.
Westlake's Bennett Julian. Westlake hitter Bennett Julian wins our boys volleyball player poll, which blew up. So congratulations to Bennett, and also just shout out to all you voters, man. You guys love your athletes and are showing that love in the poll. So we appreciate you. He had 37.63% of the vote was Bennett Julian from Westlake. So congratulations to him. go read all our stuff. Subscribe to the show on YouTube. It's VCS Preps on YouTube, and then you can find Prep Period there. But subscribe to VCS Preps. Follow VCS Preps on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all those places. And yeah, keep reading our stuff, man. Support the work that we do. Keep us employed. Keep us doing our thing, and we appreciate you all.
And stay safe out there. Obviously, rough week locally in East County. So hopefully the news today on Tuesday has been relatively good. Hopefully it continues that way. So we appreciate it.
Awesome. Till next time, everybody.